We are live. How we doing, everybody? Welcome to the Cover6 Community's virtual meetup. Today we're going to talk passive reconnaissance and open source research, or open source intelligence, or OSINT for short. You may have seen me put quite a few challenges on Twitter. If you were to find me and do a look for @TyWilson21 and use the hashtag OSINT challenge, you will find some things. And I challenge you to solve all of those challenges. So, welcome, welcome, welcome. Thanks for coming out. Thanks for joining me. Also, for everyone that was at the meet and greet, what was that, last week? Thank you so much for joining me. We had a blast, and we're going to do it again every month in DC. Right outside of DC in Arlington, Virginia, at the AC Landing Hotel. They do a really good job of taking care of us. We used to go there all the time. So, the staff there is like family. And when we show up, they treat us like family as well. All right. So this is part of a series of our intro to cyber training. We do have courses online. I believe this is the third topic. So I mentioned that I have a teach you, show you, involve you style. If you were around last weekend, you know that I had a 5-hour kind of like a marathon of free training. It was the entire intro to cyber course, but it was just the show you portion. And now if you were to attend all of the meetups, then it essentially becomes the involve you portion. So we're going to do a little bit more of a deep dive, show you some of the tools that I like to use, some of the tools that you can use as well. All of them are free. And on top of that, we actually created a student handout for you all because I made it a mission that if you attend any of the meetups or the virtual meetups, then you would have something tangible that you can take home with you. So what I'll do with that is I will post a link in the comments right now. And you can see that link. It's right there. So that's where all the student handouts are. It's not just the passive recon. It's a little bit of everything. And as we start to go through all of the content, there will be more handouts. For anyone that is unaware of the meetups and how to join the meetup, look at that little QR code right there. Scan that. That'll let you know how you can join us. Keep up with all of the meetups. On top of that, there's still a newsletter that you can sign up for, or just register on the website or the Discord channel, and we'll put the Discord channel link somewhere up at some point. How are we feeling? I'm going to ask the question. So if you don't mind, and I know this is a passive recon talk, if you don't mind letting us know where in the world you're tuning in from, that would be great. And then after that, we'll get started. All right, let's talk about some of the sites that I like to use and some of the sites that I would recommend. First, let me get rid of this QR code. At any point, if any of you have any experience with these sites or have used anything or want to expand on anything, we're all family here. This is for all of us, so feel free to chime in with the comment, or if you have any questions, let me know. The first one right here, DuckDuckGo. You'll see that I'm actually using the Chrome browser, but I'm using an incognito window, meaning, it's not tracking anything, any cookies, any history. So all of my passwords um, or anything that I would normally use are not being used right now. If you don't trust Chrome, right, there's also the DuckDuckGo browser. And the DuckDuckGo browser is built with privacy in mind. In addition to using the browser, another thing that I like to do is I like to create a different persona or a different profile. Chrome does a really good job of letting you use different profiles. So if you wanted to, you can create another profile in Chrome and just call it OSINT. And in that profile, that will be the profile that you'll use to save all of your bookmarks that you may get from the student handout or from tonight. Because there's going to be bookmarks and sites that you go to all the time. So might as well start saving them. When it comes to creating personas, a really good place to go is this site right here called This Person Does Not Exist. And the reason this works is because this is a website that will create an AI generated image of a person that you can use for your persona or for your fake profile. These people do not exist. They're not real. Only thing I am doing right now is refreshing the screen. I'm not going to make the joke that I always make, but I'm going to refresh the screen and you will be able to see the trend for yourself. So none of these pictures will be created ever again. And the reason for that is because if you were to right click on an image in Google, Google has the option to search with Google Lens. And what that does is will let you know all of the places on the internet that Google has seen this image. And this image will have 0 entries because it's never been duplicated. It's the first time it's ever been made. How are we feeling? Any questions, comments on that so far? The next place is Google. Like, this is where you're going to start. Probably 9 times out of 10. I highly recommend doing Google searches for things like interviews, business development meetings. Anytime you're going to have a meeting with someone that you're going to talk to for the first time or go somewhere for the first time, like, it's really smart to do some research on it. That way you're not blind. Plus, on the other end, if they are aware that you know a little bit about them and that you did your research on them, it's going to make them feel really good, especially at an interview. If you go to the interview and they say, hey, tell me what you know about the company, and you say nothing, chances are you're not going to get that job. Because one, you didn't even care enough to do just a little bit of research or enough to say something. I'm not sure if I would even hire you. Like, you don't know who we are. Inside of Google, like, there's a bunch of different things that you can do when it comes to search and the search syntax. Google does have and-oring, so you can put words like Cover6 or education, and then you can do and cybersecurity, something like that, and just see what comes up. Right? So we do show up. I don't know who that company is, but it answers the mail, right? Cover6 or education and cybersecurity. So you're going to get some entries here. So you'll see that that matches your syntax. Or if you want to be specific, you could put Cover6 Solutions in double quotes. Man, did I spell my own company name wrong? I did. That won't happen again. You can put Cover6 Solutions in quotes, and it'll come up with everything about Cover6 Solutions. This right here, I think it's um, ads. So thank you, fractional CISO. But yeah, this is where we come up. Another thing is down the bottom in Google will let you know how many pages of results you have. This will let you know how much information you may need to sift through. Hold on one second. Yeah, didn't want to cough in your ear. So, of course, that's where you would start. So think of this as like, say you're a pen tester, say you are targeting an organization or targeting a person. You can look at it that way. All right. So now that we have the Cover6 Solutions, the company, then you'll be able to target the individual of the company. Clearly, we're seeing some pictures right now. That's me. You have the ability to drill through that, see what else you can come up with. Google also has Google Maps, which I think is also pretty cool because I'm just going to hit this little icon right here. And if you were to drill down into some of these icons, you'll see these little blue dots right here, like this one right here, Papa John's Pizza. If you were to click on any one of these blue dots, it will actually take you inside that establishment. So when it comes to planning, when it comes to doing open source research, when it comes to targeting an office or a building, or if you need to plan a way to get upstairs or get past security or get through the elevator, believe it or not, Google Maps actually does a really great job of putting this all together for you. Then we have the Google Exploit Database. You can do, I mean, this is kind of advanced, I won't lie, but it was more for the Google dorking piece, right? So Google has, well, there's this database that exists by ExploitDB that allows you to filter for certain things. Let's say we wanted to find some files containing usernames. It will give you a bunch of different options. You can see the syntax that's being used. The one thing about here is that you can click on one of these. It will show you the search function, the syntax for the search. You can click here again, and you are still passive at this point. But every single one of these entries matches this Google dork. Now, if you were to drill a little bit further and click on any one of these, you are no longer passive. Let me move away from here so I don't get in trouble. There's also a Wi-Fi component to this. I like this site, wiggle.net, wiggle.net. Some people say it differently, but essentially it lets you identify Wi-Fi SSIDs in a particular area. What I would suggest is you go here, put in an address that you are aware of and that you know has a SSID name, and see if you can find it. So again, as part of the passive recon, there are tricks and exploitation techniques that you can use later on when it comes to Wi-Fi SSIDs. And I forget the technical name for it. but mirroring a SSID of a known router, those would be the next steps for you. Then we have I Been Pwned? So this site has actually come a long way. It's a database of email addresses and passwords that have been involved in security breaches. If you feel comfortable, you can put your own email address in here, and it will let you know all of the security breaches that your email address has been involved in. What I mean by that is not necessarily you, but let's just say, just hypothetically speaking, um, what was something that happened. So I don't want to get anyone in trouble, but OPM happened, right? Many years ago. Imagine if you had a account on the OPM website. OPM was hacked. What Have I Been Pwned does is it tries its best to get the database of all of the accounts that were hacked. So that way you could do some recursive searching to see if it's in there. It also has things for passwords as well. So if you want to check and see if your password has been involved in a breach, then you can. If your password is in here, I would suggest you change it. Another one that I like, it's called Faller.me. And what this does is it lets you get social media profile information on a particular individual. So let's come here, and we're going to add a username, and we're going to add Cover6 Solutions. Oh, let's check that out. Oh, okay, that's fine. It has been a while since I used this site, but it is up. We'll just move on. Next is Robtex. Robtex can be used to see a organization's network infrastructure, right? DNS, domains, IP addresses, things of that nature. There is a site by OffSec where you can use for testing. It's called megacorp1.com. So we use that, and you can see that it has different name servers, A records, MX records, pointer records. Looks like there's some quad A, well, not quad A records, but IPv6 addresses tied to A records. And also a bunch of different subdomains. So technically, if you were to put this subdomain in your browser, then you should get a site. It comes in handy when you're trying to spoof. Well, I'm probably talking too much, but it comes in handy when you're trying to use other tools to copy a site and you want to do some spear phishing and you want to use a real site. This comes in handy. Next up, one of the biggest tools out there, Shodan. I'm not going to do a deep dive into Shodan, but essentially everything that's connected to the internet right now, Shodan will list IP address, ports, services, IoT devices, things of that nature. 2.4 billion connections, followed by mobile phones. My ALEXA was just activated for some reason. I don't even remember saying her name, but it's cool. Y'all see that? Y'all peep that? But yeah, Shodan, huge tool. Um, Depending on what you're trying to do, it will come in handy. For the most part, um, for the most part, what you would do is, let's just say you had an organization's IP range, then you could use a tool like Shodan or maybe census.io to see if it's seen from the internet, if any devices from those ranges are seen on the internet. Census may come at a price. Right now, haven't used it in a while. Then we have domain tools as another option to get this info. You'll see this little announcement with domain tools that they have an MCP server. Does anyone know what that means? That means like there's some AI integration, most likely with Claude. Claude uses MCP servers to connect your Claude account to another account that you may have on the internet. And you'll see a lot of organizations are starting to create their own MCP servers because they know technology is going to grow. They know people are going to use AI tools like Claude every day. And it basically just allows your AI tool, it allows Claude to connect to your domain tools account without you uh, logging into domain tools. So basically, you connect your account one time in Claude, log in, authorize it, and now it's always there as a connector. And it's pretty cool because with AI, it's got the ability to do a lot of different things a lot faster than you can. And that is the wave of the future. And just imagine as you start to grow, as you start to get used to using AI tools, as you start to connect a bunch of different MCP servers, at some point, you may create a specific skill in your AI tool. Maybe not. You'll call it your OSINT uh, something, right? Your OSINT consigliere, right? That's in charge of doing all of the OSINT searches. Then you can have templates made in your liking, your color scheme, and you know the columns that you want it to have. And you can create your own outline. And now all you have to do is put in a topic, and it will do a lot of the research for you. And you just have to be smart enough to know what you want to look for. You need to be able to think outside the box because the AI tool is only going to take you so far, right? It's only going to do what you tell it and maybe a little bit more, or maybe a lot more. But here's another one. I'm not going to do a deep dive in this, but I used to do this one all the time. And basically, what you can do is if you have an email address or a phone number and you use Facebook's lost password option and you put a phone number or email address in there, it will give you a matching profile and it will also give you a partial matching email address with the asterisk. Now, what it used to do is it used to have a matching number of asterisks. So let's just say the email address was blah, blah, blah at gmail.com. It would have the matching number of asterisks for the username. And then it would be like asterisk, asterisk, asterisk at Gmail. or Gmail dot asterisk, but you knew what you knew it was a Gmail account, and then you knew that you can count the number of asterisks to match the username until you get it right. And then now that you have a partial username, now you can use the forgot password option at other sites and hopefully get the portions of the phone number or the portions of the email that you didn't get from Facebook. So, provided the individual has accounts at all of these different social media outlets, you can use this technique. I would be very careful though, because some of the social media profiles will alert the individual right now if they do a forgotten password request. So just keep that in mind. We're almost halfway through. We're starting to get into the tools. So some of my favorite tools and some of that I use is Lee Baird Discover. You can find this on GitHub. It essentially it's a quick install. It's a tool that will do a lot of the research that I actually just explained to you, put it in a nice little website, HTML for you that's clickable and searchable. So if you have time, give this a shot. Very, very nice tool. You'll see that just like most tools, it's very, I don't want to call it simple, but it's not that complicated to use. You just kind of just get it set up. Press 2 if you're looking for a person, or press 1 if you're looking for a domain, and you just keep drilling down until you find something. You know, a lot of different options here. Another one, an awesome OSINT tool. It's a repository of really, really great URLs and links for information that you can use. Hunter.io, we used to use this all the time. Hunter.io has a free option. I'm not trying to promote for them, but Hunter.io lets you identify all of the email addresses used at an organization. The cool thing about Hunter.io is that it will also let you know the URL that it found the email address at. So whether you're an attacker or a defender, if you're an attacker, you can use these email addresses for spear phishing. If you're a defender, then you can go to the URL, contact the owner, and request that your email address is taken down. Speaking of tools, some of my favorite people, I just want to give a shout out to Gemini Matt. Gemini created this really good, and this will be in the student handout. Matt made this really great article about creating an online persona. It has been out for a while. There may be some things that are pretty old in there, but I would take a look at it. This is the Megacorp One site that I had mentioned earlier. I am on the site right now, so I am no longer passive, but I am doing this to let you know that it does exist. It is a site for you to do some research on. It is not a real site. It is used for training purposes. As you start to get a little more technical, I know I said this before, is that you can start looking at certificate information for certain web pages of an organization. You can see if individuals in that organization have any pay spins. Normally in pay spins, you can find files that have usernames, passwords, things of that nature. And then we have one of my favorite sites. Like, I like using this socialsearcher.com. social-searcher.com. You put in a domain and it will let you know all of the places that that domain has been seen and what individuals are saying about that domain. That is not us. Cover6 Solutions at Gmail. I'm going to have to find. See, this is why it's good. Executive transportation. Huh. That's cute. But all right. But yeah, you can see all of the different places. So you can see these tabs up here. This one's for Twitter. Now you can see all of the places Cover6 Solutions is being seen on Twitter. So it lets you know, like if someone mentions your domain in a comment or on LinkedIn or on YouTube, then this site will let you see all of that. Again, all passive. Another GitHub repository, it's LinkedIn to username. It's basically a tool that allows you to do recursive searching with a domain, and it will find all of the user accounts associated with that domain on LinkedIn using Python. So pretty cool, something that you want to run in the background. I have done plenty of talks like this before. Here's one where I get really, really deep, where I talk going from passive recon to actual compromise and exploitation. So really scary things in there. I talk about how to use apps on the phone to start tracking people, tracking friends, getting their locations. I talk about selfie stalking. That is a term. It is a real thing. So, yeah, how are we feeling? Any questions or comments? Because this could be a quick one tonight. For those of you listening, the next one in 2 weeks, I believe it's April 15th, we're going to do a deep dive on IPv6. If you don't know, I am a long time IPv6 enthusiast. I think it's an amazing technology. I feel like the world should know about it. I feel like when I first learned about it, I was trying to tell the world. So I'm going to go at it again for year 13, 14 of me trying to talk about it. So on the 15th, you'll see us again. I also am going to bring back the first time speaker series. So if you've never given a talk before, we'd like to hear from you. There is a paper call link in the description. There's a bunch of other links in the description that I think will be helpful for you. If you have any questions, comments, reach out to us either on the Discord or at info@cover6solutions.com. We're more than happy to help you out. All right. With that being said, we're gonna call it a night, everybody. Have a good night.